It's because you're actually not in tune or aligned with your highest self.
Right. You're not connected. You're
You're not
disconnected.
connected.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So when you are connected, that's when you feel really great. That's when you are feeling the joy that is your natural state of being, the freedom, the peace. And see, how I call that is viewing the world from the level of the mind or the ego, which is always trying to identify with things outside of the self. And when we perceive the world at the level of the mind, we're so invested in attaching meaning to all the things that we have an investment in that prove to us that we're worthy of this or that we've achieved something. But there's a whole nother level or aspect of ourselves. That's just, when we perceive the world, that's just a sliver of the mighty being that we truly are, because we truly have the presence of God, God's essence, that divine spark in our hearts. And when we start to tune into how we feel, we tune into the depth of just how infinitely abundant and powerfully creative we already are. We can create anything that we set our minds to. It's just about holding the focus there. So when you become really clear, and if you tune into how you feel at the level of your heart, there's a difference when you're perceiving the world at the level of the mind, because it's like you're just reacting and responding, and it's so easy to view the world at that level, because that's where we actually experience all of the activity of our consciousness. We literally feel it in the space behind our eyes. So we're really perceiving the world at the level of the mind. But if you consciously, you get present in your body and you are aware, okay, I'm perceiving at the mind. Now let me drop my awareness down into my heart. And you take that breath in and you become present in your body, and then you view the world from that sacred space of the heart. You actually can sense a presence there that's very loving in nature. And so that's actually my expertise, where I show people how to really get out of their minds and get into their hearts. Open up your heart, become aware, and consciously feel your way through life. Really tune into that presence. Let your heart be a guide. Give it a microphone, because in every moment there's a choice. And you can go in one direction or you can go in the other. And if you're tuned into your heart and how your heart feels, you know that there's a different feeling with each choice. And when you start to tune into the feeling that is present with each choice, and then you're choosing the solution that makes your heart sing, that makes you feel good, you are aligning with the guidance of your higher self.
Yes, absolutely. And as I've been listening to you, I have several times felt your words and your beingness in my spine. I'm sure you have similar experiences in your journey. It's that when we're connected, we can feel energy flowing through our bodies, and those are indications for me that I'm connected. I'm connected to my higher self, and I'm connected to you, and that there's energy flowing between us, and there's nothing I can do or say to not move us forward in a positive way. But for a second, I want to get back to what you said about ego, and because people have a lot of misconception about ego, but the ego is really there to protect us. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, what the ego wants is to survive, to have us survive the next moment and the next moment. And unfortunately, we end up giving our ego a carte blanche, that our life becomes about surviving every moment. And that's really not what life is about. We actually become masters of surviving everything. So
Truly.
take that carte blanche and put some limits on the spending, is what I say.
It's all about love. It's
Yes.
it's all about love. And the other thing that I'm really learning right now in my journey, it's about forgiveness. And so, yes, the ego is so invested in our survival that it's really at its core, it's acting out of love. So even though it might hold our awareness on the things that might not serve us, when we are conscious and we can say, oh, this is a tendency for me to focus on this. It's not serving who I am or where I want to go. I forgive myself. Let me shift. Let me open my heart in love, in forgiveness to myself, or maybe to somebody else. Because even when you're forgiving somebody else, you're really opening up your own heart. It's really serving you. And you make that shift. And in that moment, as you shine the light of your awareness on a past tendency that does not serve you, that the ego has this ability to pull you back into those past patterns. Once you shine the light of your awareness on, you're like, oh, this isn't serving me anymore. Let me just stop here. What is this? How is this serving me? What is this? Well, how can I learn from this right now? And then let me just forgive myself. Because the tendency is when we find ourselves slipping back into past patterns, or we even catch ourselves being negative, that we take out like a stick and we beat ourselves up. We're like, oh, I'm so terrible. I shouldn't be feeling this way. So we start to add to it. But if we could just say, hey, wait a minute, here's a pattern that's showing up in my life. It doesn't serve me, but yet there is a lesson here. There's a blessing. Let me identify it, and let me just forgive myself for not being aware that I've been allowing myself to unconsciously run on this pattern. Let me just open my heart. And I am forgiveness acting here right now. That pattern releases in the moment. And as long as you make that shift onto what it is that you truly want and who you want to be, and you just hold yourself in that image of that final outcome, you've actually cleared out that past pattern and you've programmed something new in its place. And that's birthing new consciousness in the moment.
Yes, yes, you actually made a different choice than you would normally make, which is on automatic pilot, because we, all running around in the world going like, oh, okay, I'm having this experience and this has happened before. So guess what? I'm so knowledgeable and I know how this is going to turn out because it has happened before. So
yeah, I call it shining the light of your awareness. It's just shining the light of your awareness in the present moment. And you're like, ooh, this has come up. The body is a wonderful vessel for holding on to energy. And when we experience extreme trauma, and